Hey fellas, Rusty coming at you, and today we're going to be taking a look at a modern knife. It's been a while since I bought a modern knife, but I had credits, we'll say, to a sporting goods store that allowed me to pick this up for free. It was originally $139 at the store, and they have them on sale for $109. This being a Hogue Deka. The Hogue Deka is the name of the knife, Hogue being the manufacturer, and Deka kind of being, if you will, the pattern number. One thing that makes this knife special to me is the steel. And something that I like to do is try different steels. MagnaCut is one of the newer steels, if not the newest steel, that's been developed. It was developed by Dr. Lanyard Hole, who has a PhD in metallurgy, and then this has a, I want to say, an Elschwitz design. So I'm not familiar with that designer, but let's talk about the knife. The knife has polymer handles. So polymer, in this case, it's chemical name for many molecules, and it's nylon essentially, but it's a nice cover material. It does have a little bit of grip, a little bit of traction, but it's not like the mini Griptilian, which we'll look at in a bit. The pocket clip works well, slides on, it comes off easy. What I have done is I tried to slide it on some, what would you call it, work pants, business casual style, and it didn't allow them to slide under, and I thought the knife had secured and it fell in my pocket. So now I know that I need to be more careful. So make sure it actually gets what you might call seated. I've seen this clip advertised as titanium, but I'm not sure. I do have a magnet, I just don't have it with me. There's a lot of other knives. You can find the Chinese made knives. CJRB makes the pyrite, it's very popular, but it doesn't quite have it. One thing it won't have is this back standoff here. So the Chinese knives are not as sturdy, durable. I do have a CJRB pyrite. It's a thumb stud knife. Take a look at the thumb studs, and it's placed in a good position, but not perfect. It's coming off of this right here, which you can see this little choil is cut in where my thumb is, and that sort of makes it a short distance between the frame and the thumb stud. And you couple that with, it's not higher than the cover, and all of a sudden you have a thumb stud that could be easier to reach. So I do not know if this is running off of bearings or washers. I suspect washers. Let's see if we can get a view in there. Online, I've seen people say both bearings and washers. I watched a disassembly video on a similar knife. It had 20 CV blade steel, and it just had phosphor bronze washers, which to me is superb. This thing, if this thing is washers, it's very, and then here we go, but I'll show you here. It was doing this. All right, we'll just flick it. So very, very smooth for handling. Very, very sharp. It was advertised, it came with a hand honed edge, and I'll tell you, it's very, very sharp. I want to talk to you for a second about MagnaCut. MagnaCut breaks the rules when it comes to steel. MagnaCut has good corrosion resistance, and it's a hard steel that maintains its toughness. So oftentimes when you harden a steel, that will allow for better edge retention, but it lowers the toughness, and the toughness is from impact resistance. And a lot of people want both. They want a hard steel that's tough, and MagnaCut actually allows you to get both. So it's advertised as a very well balanced steel. So you have good corrosion resistance, you have good hardness. This is 62 to 64 HRC, and good toughness. So other steels, some of my favorites, SR35VN would have a rating of like 5. This is up there in the 8s, 9s, on a scale of 10. So we'll put this away and come back with some comparison knives. Okay, and we're back. Here's some knives that I've enjoyed over the years. This one's a relatively newer one. This comes to us from Gonzo. It's a Chinese knife, and it's in D2 steel. Now D2 has good edge retention. If you look at CATRA testing, one way to explain this, it scores a 135. 440 is the benchmark at 100. So this will outperform. This will be 35% better than, what do you call it? Oh, 440 is one way that I would consider it. This has great action, as you can see, and is less than $30. It's also a larger knife than the Hogue Deka. Don't have enough room to get that out there. It's heavier, and I don't trust the system, the locking system, as much, but it's easy to manipulate. It's comfortable in the hand, and it's ground well. So the blade grind and all that. So it's under 30. So I kind of have these in order of prices. I paid like $64 for this. This is normally about an $80 knife. This comes with a carbon fiber, this being the Kaiser Original XL. It's a button lock knife and has 154 cm steel, which ironically also comes in about, I think about a 130 for the cut test. So 154 is actually, I should tell you, this is a tool steel, and this is a speed steel. This was first used in ball bearings for airplanes. So they needed a hard steel that also kind of maintained, upheld under heat, if you will. 154 makes for pretty nice steel. This is a button lock, kind of already talked about that. Both of these, also have recessed liners, and that's where the internal liners are covered by the handle. So that one retails around $80. Now we're lucky enough to get this for $109. USA made and MagnaCut steel. Fantastic blade grinds. The shape of this blade is very much like a drop point, but sort of a false clip point, because it comes up with this tip. A drop point tends to kind of come down. This is more, you can see how that blade drops. It doesn't like upsweep at the end. This is more what you'll see in a clip point. This one sort of curves up at the end. Very similar and very practical, and I do like the drop point shape. I love this blade shape, and this is an Asher knife, and Asher knives are made by a fella out of Pittsburgh, I should say. They're not made. He orders them, and this one was made by Petrified Fish, and he's also had them made by, I want to say, Kunwu. We do get S35VN, which is probably my favorite steel that's been around. I haven't experienced the MagnaCut yet. So this is a Chinese knives. When he has them made, they're kind of small batches. He'll sell them on his website, and when they sell out, well, when they do sell, they're in that, well, they were in that sub 100, maybe a $75 to $100. Now you're finding them in about 120, and on the used market, sometimes they can bring $150, $200. Of course, varying features, titanium, 20 CV, stuff like that. But very, very good knives, very, very good ergos, and just a good size. Now the Deka is lighter. It weighs 2.1 ounces. As you can see, it also very, very similar in size, and this knife to me is fantastic. I want to say it runs on washers, and I don't know if we talked about that. We did already, I guess. I do believe this is on washers, even though, what I want to say about it, some people, there's some information out there that they are on ball bearings. So and then finally, you're going to find the Benchmades. I think I paid 120 range, 130 for this a couple years ago. These are, Benchmade's gone up in price. You're seeing the comparable model for this particular one, the competitive model, is the bug out, which I didn't get, but we'll kind of explain that. This is more of like a drop point tip. I really like this tip. This is a Mel Pardue design, and maybe you guys can kind of see what I talk about, where that tip drops versus a clip point, where he gives you a little more up belly right there. And that's how these two compare. They both have Cerakote on the blades to keep it, you know, from staining and scratching, but that Cerakote will probably also scratch if you use your knife in cutting sort of harder materials. This one also should be running on washers. It has fantastic ergos. It does live up to its name. Even for a small knife, we do get a good grip on this Griptilian. But this knife is the mini, and then the regular Griptilian is going to be larger. So I like medium-sized knives. I like the knives that fall. A lot of times companies are making just a tad too small and just a tad too big, and this one's just right. This would be my Goldilocks. Is that who it is? Goldilocks in the Three Bears. So anyways, fellas, we'll be done there. First impression, I've only had this for about 3 days, and it has very, very good potential to be a favorite pocket carry of mine. Looking at what we have here, I would say this one sees some pocket time a lot, and this one has seen some. They've all seen some, but these two tend to be ones that I look forward to carrying when I put them in my pocket. This one's on the too big side, just more than I need in my everyday, and this one's on the too small side, just too small to handle. Like, it's really hard to get your fingers out of the way if you're gonna flip this thing. Once you do get the blade out, man, it's a nice one, but it's just a tad too short, and that's where this one comes in. Light, slim, sharp, corrosion resistant, tough, Great knife, great knife. That's it, guys. We'll be done. And thank you for joining the miner. Bye.